Hi guys, in today's review we're looking at a Hattons model railway exclusive, and these are the 4 and 6 wheeled Genesis coaches in the Lnwr livery, which is era 2. There's 5 here. I did buy a pack, but the pack got cancelled because Hattons didn't have enough in, so I bought them all individually. I'll tell you what we have, and if you want the codes for these, they'll be in the description because there's a lot of them. We have a 4-wheeled brake third. We also have a 4-wheeled third coach. We also have a 6-wheeled brake third as well. We have a 6-wheeled compositive lavatory coach. That's first and third class. And then finally we have the impressively 6-wheeled full brake coach. My full brake coach does have lights in it because there's the only one available and I really wanted the full brake. That was £36 and the rest were £30 each. Like I said, I had my pre-orders cancelled. They didn't make enough or something like that from what I've been told from Hattons, which is a little bit disappointing. But we'll get into the review and see if they're any good and does the livery match up to anything else in anyone else's ranges. So here goes, shall we? Starting off in the detail part for these Hatton Genesis coaches, you do get an additional footboard to add if you want to. I believe it's for anything greater than third radius. I'm guessing on your 4 wheels it's not too bad, but on your 6 wheels you do get a slightly longer one because the coach is bigger to add, and they are metal. Like I said, I believe they are for third radius plus. You also get a leaflet or instructions for 4 and 6 wheel coaches, how to clip the roof on and off. It's pretty simple. Also how to DC fit the lighting as well if yours have lighting. Hattons do a lighting kit now if you wanted to change your mind and put lightings in the ones you have. And also to remove the centre sled wheels on the 6-wheeled variant of these coaches. Looks pretty easy, just a few screws to take off and then transformed into a longer 4-wheeled version. As we move on to the front or the back of the coach, depending on your preference. Before I start, I will apologise about the track. These coaches are really free rolling. On all of these coaches on the buffer beam area, you do get metal unsprung buffers. You also get the buffer beam itself in black with a few rivets or quite a lot of rivets. You also get a hook and a chain link already applied. It is moulded on. The buffer beam and the buffers and the shank are all black and metal, like I said. You also get an air pipe or vacuum pipe as well. You also get a small tension lock coupling and AM coupling as well, screwed to the coach at the back. Depending on the front or the back of the coach you have picked, or the coaches you have picked, is depending on the style you will get. I believe Hattons have tooled up for 4 different variants of this, and I think I have them in this picture here. So let's start with the first one. On the first one, you do get the paneling effect going on in this plum livery on the back here, with a pipe going up for the gas, obviously, and there's some other piping as well, making a T-junction. Moving across, you do just get the paneling and the gas pipe on this one, on the back. It's pretty basic, but it does the job. Moving across a little bit more, you also get metal steps, which are in a triangle shape. You also get red handrails. They are metal as well, so are the steps. On all the coaches, you also get small metal lamp irons already applied at the top of the coaches on every ends. Again, we have the paneling again on the stepped version as well. And then finally we get to the, I want to say brake version, because it's got a window. You do get a guard stucket to look out. You also get 4 windows that's with glaze to look out as well. You do get the piping and you get some extra piping as well. And you also get the lamp irons too. Depending on your variants, that might change. The ducket might be further down or where it is now. Just depends on the variant you have. That's basically the 4 different toolings I believe you get at the end of the coaches. As we move on to the roofs now, depending on which coach you have, depends on which way the roof is styled. These are all gas, these Lnwr ones are all gas, so the piping is a bit delicate, but it does move. You have the gas pots on, and depending on the coach, depending on how many you get, you also get what I believe are air vents. There's 4 on this one. but some have 6, I think some have 8 in different positions as well. And you also have a rain ducket as well on all the coaches. Like I said, the roofs are in white. Like I said, depending on which variant you've got of the coach is depending on how the roof will look. This is just a basic look at one of the roofs. And all the pots and piping are all separately applied as well. As we take a look at the coaches individually now, on the sides and in the side, we're starting off at the full brake, because I love the full brakes, or the brakes in general. This being the Lnwr, this is plum and spilt milk, I believe they called it, with some gold lining. What I will say, before I get into this, the livery is very close to the Railway Children ones, and even the Hornby ones are not too bad. This is a slightly better livery than the Hornby ones, but still, when you look at the Railway Children ones, they're pretty close. On this we do have glazing, we also have a crest and a number. The window drop downs are in gold and red depending on the coach. We have a guard's lookout as well. We do have a guard's door which says guard on it. We don't have the other double doors that say luggage or anything on there, it's just not there. We do have a footboard, and you can also see the wheels and axles as well. They look like this is a pretty interesting livery. It could even be a royal train as well. The handles do look like they're separately applied, but they're not, I believe, on the doors. But again, it looks fantastic. As we take a look at inside the full brake, I have had to use the Lnwr version of the Hattons Genesis coaches, simply because I cannot get into my Lnwr version. I believe it's because it's got the lights in it. It's just a little tight to get off, so I thought I'd use this one. As you can tell, they're all the same, whatever versions you've got, lights or non-lights, inside the full brakes and even the third brakes. There's nothing in there really. You just got the moulding or the tooling stuff in there that you use at the factory, and you have a massive glazing bar. It is a letdown, like I said in my Great Western review. These are a letdown. I was expecting a little something in there. A hand wheel maybe, a wooden floor would have been great, but no, there's nothing. They're all the same, all the full brakes. Whatever livery you get, as far as I'm aware, they're all the same, nothing inside. As we move over to the lavatory coach, again, we have the crest in gold, not colour like the Hornby one. But we do have the windows, they are in red and have a gold rim around it as well. The 2 outer doors, because this is technically a 5 compartment but one's a toilet. The 2 outer doors are third class. And the 2 in the centre are first, so obviously the first class people get the toilet only. You can't go through the coach at all. Again, it's very crisp, the delivery is fantastic. Again, we have the metal running board and the wheels and all the axles as well. They also be straight and proper. We do get some rivets and stuff on all of the sole bars on all of the coaches. There is detail on there, sorry if I haven't mentioned it. Then in the centre where the toilets are, we do have a white out window or blacked out window, depending on your preference. It's more of a white out window. Again, we have this lining of gold, like I said, everywhere on this coach. As we take a look inside the coach, all the coaches do have this massive glazing bar, but from the outside it doesn't look too bad. It's just when you open the roof and look inside, it does look a little bit bad. Let's start with the toilets and the wall between it. Hattons have gone to the trouble of doing toilets or loos or lavatories, and they are in white. We do have a partition between them. The first class seats are in green with armrests, and the third class seats are in red with no armrest, which is a difference. It's good tooling difference there. We do have a place to put your bags and your luggage on top. They are quite sturdy. If you wanted to add your own bags, you can do on that. It will hold the weight. It is pretty dear for a small coach, actually they all are. As we move on to the next coach, which is a 4-wheeled brake third class, and this number is 6925. On this one, it has all the features that the other one does, which is the crest. Also has the drop-down windows in red and gold. Like I said, this is a third class brake. There's only 3 lots of doors, and then there's a door at the end for the guards. Speaking of the guards area, the rain ducket is at the end of the coach instead of somewhere else differently, which we'll get into later on. Again, we have the underframe detail on the sole bar on this one. Again, it's just a little bit like the rest of them. You have a few rivets. You also have some sort of plaques as well and welding stuff. Again, we have the footboard, again, which is metal. On all the coaches, especially the passenger ones, you also have air vents at the top of the doors as well, which are picked out in yellow, gold and black, I believe. They're on all of them. Sorry if I've missed them. There's a lot to talk about in these coaches. As we do a look inside of the coach, again, there's nothing in the guards area, not in the wheel. Looking for it has let me down. At least Hornby went to that sort of trouble. I know people don't like the Hornby coaches. We do have a glazing bar on every coach, like I've said before. This being a third class, it's just plain red seat. No armrest, no nothing. But again, you do get your place to put your luggage. And then racks are pretty good as well. Quite sturdy too. You can see the moulding tool marks in all the coaches really, but when it's going around, are you going to notice? Probably not. Like I said, the glazing bar itself does look great from the outside. Once you open the coaches up, you can tell it's a bar. As we move on to another four-wheeled all third, this number on this coach is 896. This one, as you can tell by the doors, has 5 compartments on it. Again, it's much like all the rest of the coaches, but I thought I'd just show it off. You have the crest, you have the door handles that look separately applied, or not, I'm not sure myself. You also have the window drop downs, which are in red, with some gold lining. All the coaches are in plumber spilt milk, as they've called it. We also have the sole bar. On the sole bar on the four-wheelers, you do have some welding marks or screw marks, depending on your preference. I think they're more welding marks. You also have some metal work on there as well. Again, it's all metal as well. Everything on the bottom half is metal. There's nothing plastic about it from the feel. And then some of the doors, they do look like they've got hinges, which are moulded on. Hopefully my camera will pick some of this up. As we do an air review on this all third four-wheeler. Inside, like I said, we have the glazing bar. We also have all the seats, because it's third, in red with no armrests, which do like the difference between first and first classes. Again, you have a place for your luggage as well. And you can also, like I keep repeating myself, also see where the tooling has been at the factory. And finally, as we move on to the last coach in this rate, this is a 6-wheeled third brake, and the number for this one is 7005. Apart from this being a 6-wheel instead of the 4-wheeled, the difference in the guard area is the guard's lookout area is more in the centre of the guard's area. Apart from that, it's a little bit extended because it's a bigger coach. The lookout for the guards area does have a little bit of glazing in. Everywhere you look on all the coaches, you do get this yellow or gold lining, even on the plum and spilt milk. Everywhere you look, it's there. Again, another difference with the 4 wheels compared to the 6-wheeled brakes, shall we say, is this one has a luggage area and it has 2 doors with 2 windows in. On the 4th-wheeled version, it only has 2 doors with 1 window in, and the other has got a panelling across it in the livery. That's the only difference really, and this one does have a guards area itself with guards written on it, like it does with the luggage area. This is 3 compartment for third class people. Again, we have the usual stuff. We have the crest, the door handles, which I'm unsure if they are separately applied or part of the moulding, but either way, they're pretty nice. As we move down to the sole bar, the sole bar itself, again, has rivets, metal work, a little bit of welding if it was around, I'm not sure. It's all metal. We have 2 footboards here because of the 6-wheel, because of the sledge, to make it go around second radius. Again, they're all metal. And as we do a final look inside the last coach, again, it has the guards area with nothing in it. We also have the glazing bar. We also, like I said, have a glazing bar or a little bit of glazing inside the guards lookout ducket, which is nice. Again, this is being a third class. It's red seats, no armrests or anything like that. Pretty basic, like I said, 3 compartments. We also have a place to put your luggage as well. I do apologise if I'm repeating myself. I'm just saying what I see, basically, so I do apologise. Now, as we take a look at the underneath of a 6-wheeled variant, as you can tell, the middle sledge does move quite well. It also can be removed if you really want it to. I believe we have the monster wheels on this variant, or all the variants really. Again, we have a cylinder for the gas. We also have a cylinder as well for the braking. We do have some brake pipes as well. The shoes on all the wheels for the brakes do line up with the wheels, apart from the middle sliding ones on the 6-wheeled. There's some bracing under here. There's some screws as well. There's also some holes for your detail parts too. Again, like I said, we have the small tension lock couplings. They are screwed in by the looks of it as well. We also have axles and springs for the wheels. And finally, as we take a underneath look at the 4-wheeled variant, we do have a gas cylinder. We also have a cylinder for the braking as well. We do have some brake pipes, which are loose on every model. We also have some more fine piping too. There's a few screws under here as well. Again, the brakes shoes line up with the wheels on all of the models, and all the footboards seem to be level as well. Again, we have the same style coupling, which is screwed in an AM1, and some bracing too. So yeah guys, that's the end of the review and the running session. Sorry if it was a little long, I do apologise. The G2A was a little bit big, but it did it. I'll tell you what I ran the coaches with, before I give my opinion, and that was, as you can tell, we had the Lnwr Coal Web Tank by Bachmann that had all the coaches. We also had a G2A with a freight style stock. It looked okay to me. I don't know how you lot felt about it. It looked okay to me. There was a mixture of companies on it, along with the Hornby baggage coach. We also had the exclusive Rails of Sheffield / Bachmann improved President class. That ran again with all the coaches, no issues, whatever. It even managed quite some low speed on my Gauge Master controller. I think it managed like 21 on there. I am on analog. I'm not bashing any companies here. With the Hornby 6 wheels, it did struggle with the 3 or 4 I have. It struggled to maintain the speed and it didn't like it, kept wheel slipping. That could be down to something that Hornby have done with the chassis. I'm not too sure, but I'm not bashing Hornbys because Hornbys are just as nice. And then we had the Rapido Lnwr J70 for something different. It was my sort of tribute to the Thomas Tank TV series where Toby gets some museum coaches, and to me they look like the Lnwr livery coaches, if I'm honest with you. So that was it with a milk wagon on the end. Like I said in the detail parts, these do match up pretty well with the Railway Children coaches and even the Hornby ones. No pre-grouping coaches were exactly the same, so for me I can run both if I wanted to. It's there. I know people bash the Hornby ones, but they look quite okay. Yeah, these ones do have their faults. Some of mine, when I looked closely after I did the detail part, some of mine had glue on the metal running boards. Also, a few bits were loose. After I looked at it, they were loose. It wasn't nothing that I've done. It was just, they're very delicate, they're very loose. So just be careful with them. Like I said, the full brake does have lights, and I paid £36 for that. And all the rest were £30 each because Hattons cancelled my order because they had too many orders for it and they just cancelled my orders. It's happened to a few people online. Do I recommend these? I would recommend these. Highly recommend these. Any of the Genesis coaches. But the only issue is they sell out pretty fast, and Hattons only seem to do a limited run. As for the Hornby ones, you can get readily available at any model shop that stocks Hornby. I do apologise that I have reviewed stock that sold out. I know it's a little unfair, I do apologise. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the review. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. So please take care of yourselves. Goodbye.